Secret Service says, "Oh no, that roof is too steep." The roof that they were on was a 312 pitch, so three
Oh
times as
my
steep,
gosh.
and they didn't classify that as like a safety threat. Welcome back to the Tangent Podcast, everybody. It is good to be with you. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on with you? It's been a minute. It's
It
been a minute,
has.
hasn't it?
It has, dude. I'm excited to be back. It's good to be here. But yeah, it's been a while. What you been up to in the last seven-ish months?
It's been a long time. Yeah, so for all you viewers out there, I got laid off from my job, so it really sucked. Believe it or not, our income from Tangent is not enough to support myself
Subscribe.
and my wife and kids. So yeah, I got laid off from my job, so I was out of work for quite some time, and yeah, but now I have a job again, so that's great. I got my first paycheck.
Woo.
It wasn't a full paycheck, but hey, when I was looking at my Wells Fargo last night and I saw that nice green number in my account, I was like, yes,
Nice.
that's a nice feeling.
Okay, how often do you get paid there?
I get paid twice a month. So that
Okay.
I started like on the 22nd of June, so it wasn't even like a full paycheck yet. So I've yet to see what I'll actually like take home. So, but man, it was sure of a heck of a lot more than freaking unemployment. I'm grateful for unemployment, but man, yeah. I was like, "Oh, sweet baby. This is good stuff."
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm happy for you. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
someday we hope to have the podcast be a legitimate backup option or
Yeah.
fund our lifestyle. But uh, yeah, good to hear that you're doing
What
well and got a job again. And
Yeah, what about you? What's new with you, man?
oh, nothing much. I've just been like working a lot, trying to start my side business too, and getting that going, and kind of in the in between of like maybe looking for a job, but not really looking for a job, and
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
just kind of like keeping my ears open for opportunities. But no, things are going really good. It's been hot as
Nice.
balls, uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
And I know our freaking state is on fire too.
Yeah, for real.
Just freaking everywhere.
For real, it's probably way worse down by you guys. Like up here, it's been pretty clear. Like we haven't seen a
Oh,
ton of the smoke, but
oh, good for you, man. Freaking in a human smoker out here some days. I mean, not right now, but like a month ago. Man, it was so bad.
yeah.
Just look outside and you can't even see the mountains at all. It's terrible.
I remember a couple times it was during that treasure hunt that Dallin and I did that it got pretty smoky a couple times, like
Oh,
around then. But yeah, luckily I was far enough north that it wasn't too bad, and we've actually gotten some rain and like pretty heavy winds up here, so it's kind of blown everything out. But yeah, I'm sad to see all the fires going on right now, and it's
yeah. It's
it's not fun.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, things are going good, and I can't complain. Just happy to be
Good.
back.
Well, speaking of complaining, I know that I'm quite good at it, so I've got something for you. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, so an update. My daughter is now 9 months old. She's very cute, very busy. She's got two teeth. She's like standing up. It's crazy. It's crazy like how fast like everything moves. But anyway, she doesn't sleep very well, and that sucks. But a couple weeks ago, my mother-in-law took her like overnight, so we were able to like go on a date. We're
Hmm.
like, well, what do you want to do for a date? Like, well, I feel like I want to go see a movie because like that's one thing that you can't really do with a kid that young. Like you can't go see a movie. So I was like, well, what movies are out? And I was like, well, I think Steven Spielberg has a new movie out, Declaration Day. I was like, hey, it's about like aliens, conspiracies. Why not? Like it's good material for the podcast. Who knows?
Hmm.
So I go see that movie and I won't spoil it for you, but there's not much to spoil because it sucked. It was so bad. It was
Man.
it was like it's supposed to be an alien like conspiracy movie, but like the whole time it was just like building up, building up, building up, but like there wasn't really like a good payout at the end, and it just like kind of abruptly ends, and it was just, dude, it was just so bad, and I'm like, are you kidding me? How does Spielberg suck at movies now? Like, what happened to him?
It's a rare miss, yeah. That's disappointing because I mean, you have like the coolest subject matter to run with, and then you just like fumble it so hard.
Yeah, it was like, and there's like Emily Blunt's in it. I mean, I like her, you know, but man, like it was just so bad. Like I just trying to find any, like there's some like interesting stuff about the aliens that like I've never really heard of before, but it wasn't like, it did not do enough to carry the movie at
Mm,
all. So,
that
and
sucks.
it's like, and not only this, but have you heard of the movie Ready Player One? Do you know that
Mhm.
movie?
Yeah.
Or do you know the book? It's based off a book.
I've never read the book, but I've
Okay,
seen the movie.
the book is really good. Like one of my friend Jeff like loves that book, but it's like a really well written book, and Spielberg directed that movie, and it was terrible too.
Hmm,
Like it was like, it totally missed like the essence of the book, and oh my gosh, it was just so bad. So
that's sad.
I just have beef with Mr. Spielberg. It's like, man, like I trust you with my time and my money to go see a movie and my precious limited free time I have, and I just go see this stinker of a movie. Like, anyway,
I'm
that's my
sorry.
rant.
Hmm.
Has there been a movie that you've even enjoyed seeing in the theaters?
Dude, I don't even remember the
Do you remember
last
the
movie
last
I
one you
saw in a theater.
saw? Really?
Um, what would it have been? Probably. I remember going to see Tenet like 5 years ago.
Dude, I saw that in theaters
Um,
too during COVID.
yep, it was during COVID. I went with my work team. It was good, but it was also like that's a lot. That's a lot of movie to understand in one sitting. No, oh, what was no Mission Impossible? The
25.
not the second part, part one of whatever the last one was, and I really liked it. I need to see part two, but that was probably the
Mm.
last movie I went to, honestly, and that was like
Yeah, we
2 or 3 years ago.
trying to think like the last good movie I saw in theaters. I mean, this was a while ago, but the new Top Gun movie was really
Oh,
good.
that one was good. Yeah.
That one was awesome. I was like, this is why you go to movies right here,
Hmm.
you know?
Yep, we're gonna go see Toy Story 5. I think next week. I'm
Nice,
excited. I've
nice.
heard mixed things, but I've been big on Toy Story since I was a kid. Toy Story 1
Yeah,
is like probably like just nostalgic, like top 3 of my favorite movies of all time. I
yeah,
love it.
that's a
Like
good one.
it's just fun, and so I'm stoked to go see it. But yeah,
Nice.
we're taking our two oldest, so our 4-year-old and our 7-year-old, and I'm a little nervous. We've taken our 7-year-old to two movies before, but we've never taken our
Mm-hmm.
4-year-old, and he's a little wild. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure there will be tons of kids in there too, with it being a Toy Story
Oh
movie.
yeah,
But
for sure.
we'll see how it goes.
Well, that's cool. Hopefully that's fun.
Yeah. Should we dive into this drink? Because I'm intrigued. I've been blue balled on this one for 7 months.
I
Um,
have the old one and the new one. So hold on, let me find the which one's the old one. I marked the old one
oh,
with
did you
a frowny
frowny?
face on the bottom, so I
is
knew
there
which one it was.
is there an expiration date on it anywhere? Let's see.
You know, I was wondering that. Okay, today at work, I get free soda at work in cans, which is great. I go in, I I snag myself a nice cold Coca-Cola, go back to
Mm-hmm.
my desk, pop it open, take a sip. It's nice and cold, but there's no carbonation. How is that
In a
possible?
can? Really?
In a can.
That's
I was
weird.
like, is this thing like 20 years old? Did it get left out in the sun at some point and then like the carbonation just died?
I mean, they
I,
haven't
I don't
changed
think
their
I've
can
ever had that happen.
in a million years, so you never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
It was disappointing.
Did you drink
Anyway,
it still?
no, dumped it right down tube. Got myself a crisp Mountain Dew. Never let me
Oh,
down.
see, yeah, Coke, they let you down. Mountain Dew, They never will.
Yeah.
They're like a good
Nectar of the
friend.
gods.
Nectar of the gods.
Good friend.
A good
Yeah.
friend. Yep. All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Let's do this thing.
voodoo monster voodoo grape. It's got a cool can. Monster has the
Yeah.
best cans in the game. They they really do. Okay, I'm gonna read this thing on the side. It says New
Okay.
Orleans, the birthplace of Louisiana voodoo. Catch it on the right night, and it becomes eerily alive with chanting, incantations, and dancing pythons to lure souls from the other side. Stir your own spirit with the real juice taste of voodoo grape. Crafted in the shadows with a full vial of our underworld famous energy blend, it will keep you fired up and feeling good without any bad juju. Unleash the beast.
Any bad juju. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do a taste test a little bit on my end here, see if I can tell a difference from the new one and the
Oh,
old
you're
one.
gonna crack the old one open? Okay.
It smells like grape.
Oh, it smells good.
Okay. I should have known I wouldn't like this because I'm not a huge grape fan.
Oh,
Well, hold on.
it tastes like my kid's cough medicine.
Yeah, it.
It tastes like cough
I
medicine.
could see that. All right. The
That's
the the old one didn't taste bad, even though it was 7 months old. I don't know if that should say something about the quality of it. If it's tastes the same.
not my favorite.
I feel like the old one somehow it had more grape flavor, but maybe because the carbonation isn't as much.
Maybe it's like wine, where the longer it sits, the better it gets. I'm giving that like a 5 out of 10. I don't love it. It tastes like
No.
medicine. It's gross. I'll give it another minute
Now I wasted 2 cans.
to sit and like air out. That's not what you're supposed to do with wine. You uncork it and air it out or something.
Yeah.
Let the tannins like develop and the all the fancy aromas and stuff.
What the?
So
Who's tannin?
so I'll let that develop for a minute. Give it one more sip, but I don't love it. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, I'm giving that like a 4.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm sure there's things that taste worse. I think if you like grape, you'll probably like it, but I'm not like a grape fan. I was hoping like maybe it's like hint of grape or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I do not recommend. One of the lowest I've rated so far.
Yeah, the can looks really cool though.
It
I
does.
feel like I got duped.
I know, and I'm disappointed because I've been like excited to try it for a long time, but
Maybe it was a sign.
maybe I hope that's not a bad omen for the next era of the podcast.
Not the voodoo grape.
All right. Well, should we dive into the topic for the day? Because I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Kicking off with a banger. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, I'll introduce it. So today,
Yeah.
if you can tell by my background,
Oh yeah, I guess
philosophy.
it I totally forgot. Yeah, it should be pretty obvious what the topic is.
Whatever your political leanings are, got to be one of the most iconic pictures in American history, right?
Yeah.
So today we are talking about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump by Thomas Matthew Crooks on July 13th of 2024.
Yeah, this one is crazy one. Do you remember where you were when you heard about this?
I remember I think I was at no, I wasn't at
'Cause
work
I
because it
think
was
it
a
was a
Saturday. It
Saturday.
was a Saturday, but it
Yeah.
was in the evening time. Like I remember hearing about it, and then I remember not hearing anything else about it after. Like it
Mm.
got dropped, I feel like so quickly. And then we just never heard after the like week or two afterwards, I didn't feel like I never heard about it again.
You know what? I kind of agree with you on that. I was at Chunga's, I think,
Oh, were
with
you?
I want to say Josh and Nom. And I remember getting the notification that was like present, but like the first notification I got was like there was a shooting at the rally or something. I was like, "Oh, that sucks," but I didn't know that Trump had been shot. And then
hmm
when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shiz, there was an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate?" I was like, "No freaking way."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk a little bit about who Thomas Matthew Crooks was. Um, he was kind of like he was a really smart kid, right? He scored like what was it, 99th percentile on his ACT or his SATs,
Hmm.
and he was an engineering student, and he was in college, and he was like really smart, but he was really like a really quiet dude. I have a few things here talking about like him, different points of view. So we've got like his parents. So his parents, they were both medical health professionals, so it kind of makes this even worse, I guess, that they didn't notice anything with him. But his dad's later told the FBI that he had like observed his son's mental health decline, and it had been declining like sharply over the last year. He noticed things like his son was talking to himself and dancing alone in his bedroom at night. And they said they had no idea about anything, like none of the bomb making things that he had going on or anything like that. So I kind of think that's nuts. Um, they did you know that he actually his parents on hours before the shooting, his parents called local police to report that he was missing because he said he was going to a shooting range. He took his dad's rifle and then like they hadn't heard from him. He didn't come back.
Hmm.
So they obviously had no idea because they're like, hey, what's he doing? Um, his classmates, his classmates at his high school kind of described him in two different ways. Some people described him as like this chill, like nerdy, smart, like academic. People in his advanced and honors classes said that he was really smart with math and science. He was polite, respected by his teachers. Seemed like he wouldn't hurt a fly, and he helped other people with their schoolwork. So that's like one side. Another side, someone said that he was like really bullied. That he was a social ghost, sat alone at lunch, bullied every single day. He was mocked for his posture. He had some BO. He wore baggy camouflage hunting gear to class, and he was still wearing like a I don't want to say a COVID mask, but a mask because of COVID, even
Hmm.
after the restrictions were lifted. And then one of his this was a new one that I hadn't heard until today. Because one thing that people have noticed about him that he didn't really have like these strong political views, not that anyone could see. And one of his classmates said that they had like this mock history debate where the teachers had the students stand on opposite sides of the room to like signify like if they're left leaning or they're liberal or they're conservative. And most of the people stood on the liberal side, and he was stood alone on the conservative side, and he was like holding his ground, like defending himself in that position. So I don't know. I mean, it's a school thing, so who knows? Like if that actually like has any bearing on his political ideology. And then we've got his friends. So he had this lifelong friend named Tristan Radcliffe. He knew him from like kindergarten through their time together at the community college, and he said he was just normal, approachable guy, never expressed any radical or violent ideas. And then he had this other childhood friend, Jameson Myers, who grew up playing with him, said he was a nice kid, never spoke poorly of anybody, and that he did say that Crooks tried out for the high school varsity rifle team as a freshman, but he was cut because of shooting. He wasn't good enough of a shot. Um, I guess that carried through until the assassination attempt. Shouldn't joke about that, but
What's the old
uh,
saying? He's so bad he couldn't shoot the ear off a president or something. Ha ha ha.
yeah, the the old wives' tale.
Yeah.
And then finally, his coworkers, because he worked at this senior healthcare rehab center where he worked as a dietary aide, and all of his colleagues were like shocked by like what they heard. Because I think one of them said something about he was like helping, like just even a day prior, maybe he was helping these elderly ladies like put ranch on their salads, and he was like so nice about it. And then I guess like the contrast is really big, right? Like you go from helping old ladies at lunch to shooting and
Yeah.
killing what's his name? I should
Corey
know this.
Corey Comparator.
Yeah. Yeah, killing that guy, wounding a few others. Like that's nuts. So that's what his like classmates and coworkers and stuff said about him. But do you have more on that? Anything else that you kind of discovered while you're doing your research?
Yeah, so he grew up in a home that was fairly conservative. Like his parents had Trump signs in the front yard, and their neighbors and things said that, yeah, we definitely knew that they were like a Trump supporting conservative family from a pretty like small conservative suburb. And his town was like 40 minutes to an hour away from Butler where the shooting took place. But in the couple years like leading up to the shooting, I guess starting in like 2018, 2019, he was posting on social media accounts like pro Trump stuff. And he was saying things like, if you don't believe Trump's a patriot, like that's ridiculous. He's the most patriotic president we've ever had. And he was kind of like really far right, almost like pretty extreme because he was calling for like the deportation and death of immigrants, like illegal immigrants in the
Oh,
country.
jeez.
And he was saying, you know who Ilan Omar is, the Somali U.S. representative.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, she's an invader, like she needs to be killed, and like all these invaders need to be killed and have their bodies like taken out of here. So he was saying
Whoa.
all this crazy, like far right, pretty extreme stuff online, and then around 2020, like during the pandemic, he started posting things about how like Trump was racist and Trump is like a part of the deep state. And then I even found this video of him. I don't know where this was, but I don't know if it was some kind of like campus event. It looked like it might have been on like a college campus, maybe his community college that he went to, but he's like somebody's videoing him with their phone and he's like screaming like death to fascists, cut all the Republicans' throats, and he's just like screaming and he like saying all this crazy stuff about like kill every Republican, and then he just goes suck my bleeping balls and then walks away. And um
Wait, what?
yeah, I'll see if I can find the video and post it in the notes because it's kind of wild. Like, it's funny though because he's like yelling all this stuff, and then he goes, "Suck my bleeping balls," and walks away. And then this like nice girl in the background just goes, "Have a nice day," and it's like it's kind of funny, but it's like he's pretty wild and like pretty like primal and guttural in the way that he's just like yelling like slit all their throats, kill all the Republicans. And
Jeez.
so there's a stark point between 2019 and 2020 where he goes then like super far left. And
Hmm.
then in the months and years leading up to the shooting, like probably the year or so before, he started looking up like when's the DNC, when's the RNC, like the Republican National Committee, DNC, when are these events going on? He was
Yeah.
looking up things about Trump rallies. He was looking up things about, he even looked up how far away was Lee Harvey Oswald from John F. Kennedy, like things like this. He was looking up different things about different shootings and assassination attempts. And he was also getting into like the furry community and like weird fetish communities. And
Oh,
on
I must have missed that in my research.
so on some of these websites, he was like using they them pronouns and stuff. So it's theorized that he was like joining the LGBTQ community and was kind of gender fluid
Oh.
or trans or whatever that means. Um, but his online activity leading up to the shooting was really weird because he started using a VPN and trying to like cover his
Yeah.
tracks, but he was looking up, like I said, like the Lee Harvey Oswald shooting, and he was looking up about different weapons, and he bought some. I don't remember the name of the compound, but basically like a really volatile compound. He purchased
Mm-hmm.
online under like a burner account, and he also had, so I've heard this as rumor, but I've also heard that the FBI confirmed that he had like offshore bank accounts in Germany and Switzerland, like the Cayman Islands, up to 3 offshore bank accounts. And then he also had some encrypted messaging apps that he was messaging people on, but the FBI still hasn't been able to crack the encryption and hack those accounts, so they don't know who he was
Mm,
communicating with. But you can see this kind of shift from he goes from this kind of shy conservative kid to kind of like this radicalized, really extreme, kind of violent dude, but nobody knew it. Like it was all kind of in secret and all contained to online, which is crazy.
that's that's the wild thing to me. Like, I don't know. I I'm not saying that I would ever do that, but if I was planning on something so big and so terrible, I would probably want to like brag about it maybe or talk to someone about it. I don't know. It's a pretty huge thing. Like I can't imagine like hiding something so personal that you're like so passionate about from like people that you care about. You know what I mean? Like how could you like keep those away and just totally lock it down and not like I don't know. I just maybe it's just depends on the person. Maybe some people are totally fine, like totally like compartmentalizing their lives in that in such a way. But
Hmm.
for me, it would be very difficult. Like if I was ever gonna do that, you would probably know about it. Not that I
Yeah,
would,
I
not that
think
I would
that
do it, obviously, but you know what I mean, right? Like it would come out.
don't get us on a watch list, man. I think it just comes with like the territory of being like a psychopath because you look at like Ted Bundy was a good example of this, where people are like, we never knew he's like the nicest guy, and a lot of those serial killer cases where people are like, yeah, we had no idea, and he just
Yeah,
separated that part of his life completely, and so you can kind of see his shift into being a full blown psychopath, and um, he still doesn't like fit the profile of like what you would think like an assassin looks like though. Like it's crazy.
no, absolutely not.
Um, so that's yeah, that's a little bit about who he was. Should we start diving into like the day and the event and what happened?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So the shooting took place on July 13th. It was a Saturday. The rally was in the evening. And I heard conflicted reports that either the day before or the day of was when he went and bought the 5 foot ladder and the 50 rounds of 5.56 ammunition, which is the same. So the rifle was like an AR-15 similar rifle because it
Mm-hmm.
fires like a similar cartridge, but it wasn't technically an AR-15. It's like an AR, like it's kind of weird, but so is
Mm-hmm.
either the day before or the day of. He goes and buys a ladder from Home Depot and then some ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the day of, he goes to the site of the rally, which I don't know if you confirmed this, but I got conflicting reports of that he rode his bike there, but then also some that he drove there. um,
Well, wasn't there a car there with explosives?
yeah,
So how would, unless he parked it there some other time and then
yeah. So there was a car and a van that were found with explosives in them. Um, So, but he shows up to the rally site pretty early in the day of the rally, so on the 13th, and he shows up. Sorry, I gotta look at my notes here. So
you're
he
good.
goes with a drone, and he's like flying his drone around the site that morning and kind of like scouting it out with his drone,
Yeah, to scope it out. Yeah.
which like I get that like the rally is later that day, but that's wild to me because I feel like oh, the other thing too was uh, the people in the area didn't know this rally was happening until 10 days before. So he had like 10 days to prep once he found out when the rally was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes this morning, he's flying his drone around. I would assume that Secret Service is already there setting up security. They'd probably been there for a day or two before, at least, setting stuff up. But no one stops him. No one, like, thinks
Yeah,
that
I
that's
actually
weird.
have. I don't know if you're gonna get into this, but I'll just pipe in here. I thought I read something because Secret Service is supposed to be running these counter drone operations or whatever during that time to like prevent something like this from happening.
Hmm.
I thought I read something somewhere that was like, yeah, the Secret Service agent that was assigned to do that day was on like he's on a call with the support, like commercial support for the drone or whatever because he couldn't figure something out. So he
Yeah.
was kind of a noob he just freaking noobed it up and didn't, or he or she, sorry, or they, you never know. And they were doing their thing, and yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I read that too. I didn't
It's like
know that it was
freaking
like a
noob.
support thing, but I just read that like while I think he flew his drone around for like I think it was 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the Secret Service anti-drone program was down for like 15 minutes and 12 of those 15 were when he was flying his drone around. Like very convenient, right?
Suspicious.
Okay. So
Mm.
that is like critical security failure number 1 is that he goes early in the day, they let him fly this drone around. Insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2 is later that day, he comes back, and now they have security there checking everybody that's going in, and he has to go through a metal detector. And so when he goes through, the metal detector goes off, and they find that he has a rangefinder with him, which, like, not illegal to carry a rangefinder, but if you're not golfing or you're not hunting, like, that's weird. Why
Yeah.
would you have a rangefinder, and why would they not like question him about it?
Yeah.
So that's critical security failure number 2. Then after that, failure number 3, this one's like, I mean, in hindsight, it looks worse than it probably was at the time, but he just started kind of walking around the perimeter of the site, like looking at the buildings around, looking at the trees, like kind of observing the area, and
Yeah.
just looked kind of suspicious. And some people actually reported him as being suspicious. And there's a couple videos of him kind of like walking around, looking at buildings and stuff. So that is security failure number 3. Nobody stops him. He's reported as a suspicious person too, so nobody goes and checks it out and follows up. Okay, security failure number 4 is there is a Beaver County police officer that sees him, and he's like looking at the roof of the building that he ends up shooting from, which is called the AGR International Building. And no questioning again. He's seen like looking at a rooftop. Policeman spots him and is like, "That dude looks weird," but no follow up, no nothing. Okay, then
Hmm.
oh, sorry, did you have
No, no,
something
no,
else
no.
to say on that?
No, you're good. No, no, you're good.
So then security failure number 5, the Secret Service is warned about him at this point. So they're told that he is a suspicious person and they classify him as a threat. Um, and they sent some people out to look for him, but he kind of disappeared for a while and they couldn't find him. And uh, but he's classified as a threat. And they're just like, "Oh, we can't find him. All right, like peace, I guess." And then like part of that too is they have a credible threat, but they still allow President Trump to go take the stage. So that's security failure number 5. Security failure number 6 is that he climbs onto the roof of that building with no issues. And the building had a metal roof on it. And I'm sure in Brazil you probably had like saw houses with metal roofs on them. They
Oh
are the
yeah.
loudest freaking things in the world, especially when it rains. Like you can't hear it.
Oh yeah.
I was just telling my kids the other day because it was raining, and I was telling them like on my mission we had metal roofs, and if it was raining, you couldn't even talk in the house. It was so loud, like
Yeah, it's
you couldn't
so
even
loud,
hear
yeah.
it. So
Mm-hmm.
this building has a metal roof, and there are police officers stationed inside of this building. And somehow he climbs up onto the roof, and nobody hears him, nobody sees him, and he just gets up there totally fine. Um, so that was at um, so he climbs on the roof at about 6:09, and it
Yeah.
was about 15 minutes before this that he's classified as a threat. So for 15 minutes, he between him being classified as a threat and then to 6:09, he climbs on the roof. Then at
And Trump's on the
6:10,
stage already, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
he's been on the stage for
at
like
this
four
point he's been on
minutes.
the
Yeah.
stage for a little bit, yeah.
So then 12 seconds before the shooting, so this is like 6:10, 6:11, a spectator video shows policemen walking around the building, and you can see him on the roof of this building. And rally goers are, I don't know if you've seen any of these videos, but there's videos of people like, "Hey, look, there's a guy on the roof right
There's a
there.
guy
Like
on the roof,
he's
yeah.
yeah, he's laying on the roof. Like what is he doing up there?" And so then a policeman goes up there, and as he's going up, Thomas Crooks turns and points his gun at him. And the policeman, I've heard reports that he backed away, but then I've also heard reports that he fell off the roof. And
Yeah, I
like,
thought he fell because he had like another officer like help boost him up.
I
He
think
like
so.
peeks over the ledge and he sees the gun. He's like, "Oh fuck!" He gets pointed at him and he falls. And I think he like hurts his ankle or something.
I think you're right. So he falls off the roof, but then like I guess it's only about 10 to 12 seconds after that then the shots
Yeah.
start popping off, but
Mm-hmm.
like you'd think that they'd make a bigger stink about that if they see a gun up there and there's people yelling. So it's like okay, they couldn't get anything done then. And then at 6:11 and 33 seconds, 8 shots pop off and one of them hits Trump in the ear, grazes his ear.
And it
And
was
then
the first shot I think
I
does
think
that,
so.
right?
Yeah. And then one of them hits Corey Compertor in the back, or in like he's like shielding his family from the bullets, and he gets hit and dies. And then 2 other people are injured. Um, so then immediately, the Secret Service counter snipers see him on the roof and shoot him. But the craziest thing about this to me is that that roof is only like 150 yards away from the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Secret Service, they were questioned about this afterwards, and the Secret Service director said that the roof that
Oh
Crooks was
no.
on was too sloped, like that they had scoped it out before, but that the roof was too sloped for them to put agents on it because it was a safety threat. So I actually looked into this. So I was like, what do they consider too sloped? Because I design roofs for houses every day. So I was like, I'm gonna look into this and see like what the slope on this roof is.
Well,
And
with the pitches or
yeah, what the
whatever.
pitch is. So the pitch on the roof that he was on was a 112 pitch. What that means is for every foot that the roof goes this way, it climbs 1 inch. So for every foot, it's like you go up 1 inch over 12, up over 12. It's the smallest allowable roof size that you can get on a building to like still shed water. Um, and even like wheelchair ramps are usually the same pitch, like to go up with a wheelchair. So like you can safely get on that. Like I would climb on that roof in a heartbeat and feel just fine. And but then
What a visual
so
is
the
that a
funniest
freaking
thing
wheelchair.
so then the funniest
Oh
thing so
no.
Secret Service says, "Oh no, that roof is too steep." The roof that they were on was a 312 pitch. So three
Oh
times as
my
steep,
gosh.
and they didn't classify that as like a safety threat. So it's like it seems like some cover your A type
Oh
like
yeah.
bull crap after the fact
100%.
that they would say that. But like the Secret Service is supposedly the premier security force in the world and has been. They've foiled a lot of assassination attempts. They've saved presidents from assassination attempts. Like, how do you miss that? It's 150 yards away in an open environment. Like, you either have somebody on that roof at all times or you have a sniper trained on that roof at all times. Like, that's basic security 101 is you secure all the high points.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can maybe won't go into the theories, but I think the biggest piece of like why this all went wrong was the communication, right? Because there were multiple times. So like um some SWAT officer finished a shift earlier in the day and he sees Crooks walking around the perimeter. He finds it odd, right? And he sends a text to a local law enforcement group chat to warn them about the guy near the building. But then that never ends up going to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a sniper inside the building that sees Crooks. So inside the building that Crooks inevitably gets on top of and shoots Trump, right? There's a sniper in that building, and he sees Crook looking up at the roof lines, pulling a golf rangefinder. He takes 2 photos of him and texts him through the local chain of command, and they try and find him. But still, no one was like, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't have Trump get on the stage
Yeah.
yet." And then Secret Service counter sniper team, they send an email to the active sniper on the roofs, the roofs that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and they say they're still looking for him. Still, they let Trump take the stage. So maybe no, I won't get into this, but this seems like a good. If you don't touch on it, I'll touch on it later. But yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know this. I don't know if you're gonna touch on that, but I'll say it right now. So 4 seconds after the first shots, a local SWAT officer was on the ground and he fires a return shot at Crooks. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, so he fires a return shot. The shot strikes the buttstock of his rifle,
Mm,
shatters the weapon, and sprays fragments into his neck, stopping his firing sequence. And then 15 seconds later, after that happened, that's when Secret Service um end up, shooting him in the head and
mm.
killing him. But
I
I
didn't
had
know
no
that.
idea. This is coming from the timeline that I was kind of going over was from the Senate Homeland Security Committee and the bipartisan House Task Force. So they have like this nice timeline of everything that happened, and yeah, that's when they said that there was actually an officer that shot him on the ground and
Mm.
hit his gun. So yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, so his gun that he was using was like a AR-15 style rifle, but he supposedly had iron sights on it. And like 100 to 150-yard shot with iron sights, like for a trained person, I don't think that'd be hard. Like for an untrained person, be difficult, but like it's not the easiest shot in the world with iron sights to do.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it just blows my mind that he was like all those failures in the day happen, and then he just climbs up there, no interference at all. Like
I
had
know.
has to be one of the biggest security blunders like ever of all time, right?
Well, yeah. If you think about it, like if you take a step back, this is a 20-year-old kid, no military experience. He's not some trained assassin or anything. He's a freaking college student. He's an engineering student. He's apparently a furry and something or other, or well, who knows what. This just Joe Schmo gets up on the roof and takes a pot shot at the president and nearly like altered the course of history. And who knows what that would have done? Like what kind of ripple effects would that have had?
Hmm.
Like who would have been president? Would have been someone else? What kind of, like it'd be crazy, like absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
It wasn't some freaking hired assassin from Iran or whoever, like Russia. No, it was just some freaking local kid gets up there and shoots him. It's like, what? Really? This stuff happens here to
yeah.
us?
I
Greatest country on the planet?
I remember looking at the notification on my phone. I don't really remember what I was doing or anything, but I remember that moment of looking at the notification on my phone, and I remember it saying like President Trump was shot at, but I don't remember it saying in that moment like if he was alive or dead. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my goodness. Like this is like a war, like civil war is going to break out." Like it was a moment that I was
Mm-hmm.
like something big's going to happen. And I think
Yeah.
he's probably one of, if not like the most decisive political figure for sure of my lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Uh, maybe one of the most decisive political figures in American history for sure. Um, but yeah, it's the last assassination we attempt we had was probably, was it Reagan before that? I think was the last one, and then the last successful one I think was Lincoln. Um, but it's just
You mean Kennedy?
or Kennedy, yeah, sorry, Kennedy.
I was like, dang.
But so this is, I don't know if you knew this though. So the Secret Service, obviously he's not a sitting president, and at this time, I don't even know if he'd been nominated as the official candidate yet. I think he was still out like campaigning and wasn't officially the nominee yet. Um, but he's an ex-president, so presidents for life get a security detail right from the Secret
Yeah.
Service.
Mm-hmm.
And there had been active threats. It was interesting that you said like an Iran assassin, because there were active threats that an Iranian assassin was coming to take him out because they didn't want him to be president. So like
Mm.
2 days before the rally, there had been threats called in to the Secret Service that said, "Hey, there's an Iranian assassin coming to take out President Trump." So the fact that not only did they let Crooks get on the roof, but if there was an active assassin threat out for him already, that they didn't have more security, like that's insane too. Because like I saw this thing and it was like, here's the security that President Obama gets when he goes golfing, and it's like he has a huge security detail all around the golf course. Like he's got a ton of security when he's out golfing, and then it's like this open air rally for a presidential candidate, and they let something like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you said probably is right. Like it probably came down to the lack of communication because you have multiple people from multiple law enforcement agencies trying to collaborate. And I think it's
Yeah.
probably like, well, I kind of chuckled when you said they emailed the sniper on the roof of the building, because it's like, how often do I check my email during the day? Like, get him on the walkie and tell him, like, So I'm sure that they had, between all the agencies, probably had some like kinks to work out in their communication,
For sure, yeah.
but still, like I feel like
Yeah.
you, me, and the boys could have done a better job of like keeping it safe. Um,
Yeah.
so.
I thought I read something about like there was radios or like walkie-talkies or something, to communicate between the different agencies,
Mhm.
and the lead guy for the Secret Service, like the agent in charge of like that of the rally, got like so frustrated or something that he handed his walkie to someone else because like things weren't working correctly.
Really?
So that's yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, like it was a perfect storm for like all this crap to happen. Like for the noob Secret Service guy with the drone thing, for him to his downtime being exactly the time for Crooks to go and fly his thing, and then it's not like he went completely undetected. It's not like he, like in Sherlock Holmes. Is it the second one where he's like the one with Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
that he's like camouflaging in like plain sight? He has like these
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
like costumes that he's like half of like the wallpaper behind him and then like a plant and stuff. Like it's not like Crooks did anything like that. He's not like he's like just laying on the roof
He was
in full camouflage or
Robert
something, and then
Downey Jr. was
comes
like
out.
the Dallin of Mecha Chameleon, and
Oh my gosh,
Crooks was the
yeah.
Skylar of Mecha Chameleon, just laying bare on the roof, no painting at all.
Sorry, my stupid light is going off. I'm just
You're
gonna
good.
turn this thing off. Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. Imagine if there was an actual threat that made it there. Like he would have been like, this is the easiest job I've ever had.
yeah.
I was like, that was a quick, how I don't know how much they would pay to kill the president. Like that's a nice cool 5 million, and like I got out
Well,
scot free.
so should we get into some of that then, like the theories of what we think happened?
Yeah, let's lay it out.
So,
Tell me what you got.
so
I
my
saw a couple of them and I was like, these are far fetched, but
my
let's
first
hear it.
question for you is, how do I phrase it? Like, do you think there's, in your initial research, or like what you know about it now, do you think there's anything more to it than just that Crooks acted alone, being like this radicalized young 21-year-old kid, that he just decided to do it? Do you think there's anything more to it than that, or do you think that's it?
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm more of a believer in evidence. I don't know what to call it. No, like I'm more of a believer in like the official narrative unless there's something that like doesn't add up or makes sense. And like for me, it's like it's believable to me that there's just complete and utter like failure from Secret Service to be just so inept. And it wasn't necessarily them, but it was like them in combination with everyone that they're working with. I could totally see that being difficult and that
Mm-hmm.
leading to everything that happened. I'm
What
not someone to think that, it was like on purpose and all that kind of stuff.
what's that saying? It's like, don't attribute to maliciousness what can be attributed to incompetence. Like, I feel like
Exactly.
that fits pretty well here. Um,
Yeah, it does.
so let's talk about some of the theories, because
Go
so
for it.
I
Lay it
feel
on
like
me.
a, a little bit a little bit of this is theatrics for the show, right? But I feel like I tend to entertain more like conspiracies and ideas. Whether I believe them is like, I usually don't. But
Yeah.
this one has a lot of, it's like a ball of yarn. You start pulling on the strings and it's all tangled up and it all starts to unravel. Like there's so many coincidences with this one that I start to scratch my head a little bit. So one of the big
Some
ones
head
is,
scratchers, huh?
so you've heard of the company BlackRock, right? So
Yes.
BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. They are a company that owns over 13 trillion as of October 2025, over 13 trillion in assets. So a billion is 1,000 millions. A trillion is 1,000 billions. So
Good
unfathomable to
gravy.
me. And they own over 13 trillion in assets. They own a lot of companies. They own like pension funds, retirement funds. They own like
Yeah.
stock investment firms, things like that. So Thomas Crooks was actually in a BlackRock commercial. Probably it would have been a couple years before the shooting because it was when he was in high school. So BlackRock did a commercial at Bethel Park High School where he went to school,
Mm-hmm.
and it was this commercial. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's for like the teachers retirement fund. And so they're interviewing this teacher and they show clips of him like in the classroom. And in a few of those clips you see Thomas Crooks,
Mm-hmm.
along with a bunch of other students, right? But as soon as the shooting happened, BlackRock took the commercial down, and they came out and basically made a statement and said like, we never paid him. He wasn't an employee. He's just a student that appeared in the video.
Yeah, he's just like an unpaid extra. Yeah.
Seems innocent enough, right? I could believe that. The weird thing with that one is, so the second Trump shooter, Ra- Ryan Wesley Routh, he was the one that attempted to shoot Trump from the bushes at the golf course.
And the golf course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was also in a BlackRock commercial as well.
No
So
way, really?
yeah, he was. Yeah, I've seen that commercial too. He's very clearly in that commercial. Um,
Hmm.
and so it's just weird that two assassins I don't remember how far apart those shootings were, but I remember them being fairly close in time. I feel like maybe months apart.
Trump wasn't president yet when the second one happened, was it?
No, let me look that up. Let's
Yeah.
two Trump assassination attempts. So the first one was July. Um, the second one was in September. So within, yeah, September 15th. So almost exactly 2 months later, basically. Um,
Jeez.
so both of these guys are in BlackRock commercials, which that's weird, right? That you could say that that's a strange coincidence, but still a coincidence
Or
nonetheless.
or BlackRock does so many commercials that
Yes.
maybe it's not that weird.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's one coincidence, right? Let's keep digging into this BlackRock thing.
Keep going, yeah,
So
sure.
BlackRock is like, they're rooted in so many conspiracies because they have their hands into every single cookie jar, like every facet of American life, probably monster. I guarantee BlackRock had something to do with the production or the canning or the materials that went into that. Like
So we
your
should get mad
computer,
at
like
them for this stupid voodoo grape.
probably. But so BlackRock owns, I mean, they own food companies. They own they own everything. So you look at anything in your room right now, BlackRock probably had some kind of hand in some of the companies that brought that to you, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the other thing too is they lobby and they donate to both sides of the political party. I feel like no matter what, they're going to
Playing
come out
both
on top, right?
sides, huh?
Um, but they have also had a lot of issues with um, the Republican Party recently because of some, is it EGA or EGS laws that are passed, like some environmental type regulations that the Republican Party has hit BlackRock on pretty hard. So they've had some beef with the Republicans. I'm sure they have with Democrats too. And just to make this clear, I'm not like I'm not pushing for any political side in this episode, right? I'm trying to come at this objectively. So BlackRock's just got all these connections. So the weird one is they do have connections to direct stake. they're a stakeholder, major stakeholder in the company that purchased the AGR International building that Thomas Crooks shot from. So they are an owner of the company that bought that. So that's another weird coincidence, right? Uh,
Hmm.
Another one is that BlackRock is the majority shareholder of a company called Austin Private Wealth, and they are a major investment firm. And the day before the shooting happened, so Donald Trump has a company called DJT, the DJT company, Donald J. Trump Company, and they trade on the NASDAQ. And the day
Mm-hmm.
before um, the shooting happened, Austin Private Wealth, which is basically owned by BlackRock, shorted DJT on the Nasdaq for 12 million shares, which was which was their largest. Um, it was the largest short they'd ever done, and it equated to about 6% of their overall portfolio. So
Oh,
they
wow, that's a
shorted,
big bet.
yeah, they shorted DJT by uh, 12 million shares, and a short is basically when you bet against the stock, like you bet that a stock is going to go down. So you borrow shares, you sell them, like, yeah, you basically borrow shares from another investment firm and bet that that stock is going to go down. And then, so you sell the stock at a high price. Then when the stock goes down, you buy those shares back at a lower price and then give them back to the company that you bought them from. So you make out with a profit. But so if Trump would have died, I bet that stock probably would have gone down. They probably would have made a bunch of money, but the stock went up 45% after he after he lived.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing with shorting stock is that if you bet so wrong, you can be hosed. That was something I have a degree in finance, and there was a class that we took that there's some infamous example of some company that or someone that was shorting like a penny stock or something, like a really low valued stock. And then for some reason, like the next day, they just shot up like a ton. And the guy just basically went bankrupt because he lost all that money because he was shorting it. But
mhm,
that's great. I did not know that about
yeah,
this.
yeah, and the crazy thing with a short too is like the upside is limited because the stock can only go down to zero, but like the risk is unlimited because it can go up to
Unlimited,
whatever, right?
yes.
And
Yeah.
so the stock rises by 45%, and again, this is 6% of their portfolio, so it doesn't end there. So BlackRock contacts the firm that they borrowed the shares from to short and says, "Hey, we want to back out of the deal." The firm's like, "Okay," which in the finance world is completely unheard
What?
of. Yeah, the firm's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll let you back out of the deal." And so BlackRock or Austin Private Wealth just gets off scot-free, completely scot-free. And but that's another weird thing with this too. So
You
there's,
smell that?
dude, yeah.
That's a little
And
fishy.
so not only are both the guys,
Stinky.
both the Trump shooters are in the BlackRock ad. BlackRock has connections to the company that bought the AGR building where Crooks shot from, and then their investment company, Austin Private Wealth, shorts DJT the day before the
Yeah.
shooting. So there's three pretty big ties to BlackRock there.
So
And
what's the overall what are you trying to say here?
so
Let's
I'm
hear it.
I'm just saying, now here's the thing. I love my life, right? I love being alive, and I don't have any thoughts of going anywhere, okay?
I love being
I
alive. Me
love my
too.
life right now. And yeah, I don't want to go anywhere, okay? So let's just get that straight. But if somebody were to say something nefarious about this, is that BlackRock could be have interest in like certain other politicians getting elected or have a disinterest in
Mm,
Donald Trump getting elected, and so they basically funded the assassination of Donald Trump. Now, BlackRock, you could say BlackRock with all their money, why would they hire this incompetent 21-year-old kid to do this? But it's also
true.
that, like, you could also argue that the Secret Service that was protecting Trump was from the Biden administration. And so if they paid off the Biden administration to give Trump, like, very lax security, then that could be one thing. And so I heard this theory, like, they didn't even have to directly hire an assassin, but maybe they thought the Trump derangement syndrome is so bad. Like, I'm sure you remember this. In the media at the time, there were so many people that were comparing Trump to Hitler or saying that he was worse than Hitler, like saying the worst things about him possible. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm not a Trump guy by any means, but like, come on. It was
He's a
ridiculous.
Nazi,
Yeah, he's a Nazi.
obviously.
Like, this is the end of democracy, and he's going to, like, kill all the immigrants and all this stuff. And so I could definitely see some of the strong cases of Trump derangement syndrome taking over and them being like, well, maybe if we have lax security, some idiot's going to come pop off a couple shots or do something crazy. And yeah, like we don't have to hire him, but we'll just like, maybe we'll just let him get through or something.
I
Um,
see. So
but,
you're not inviting the mouse in the house.
but you're not
You're not,
shutting the door.
but you're not shutting the door. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, there's some cheese here.
Which, I mean, that time was crazy. Like, you remember, obviously, how much, and still how much people were saying online. Like, it was crazy. So I could see
Well,
that being
yeah.
a
I
definite
mean, I
possibility.
feel, I feel like politics nowadays are just incredibly, just like charged emotionally, and especially during election years for like presidential elections, it's just wild. So yeah, I mean, all of my like social media feeds and YouTube videos and everything is like all politically like motivated stuff. So yeah, I it doesn't surprise me. That's an interesting theory though, to think that maybe they didn't hire somebody, but maybe they're like, you know what, if we make it bad enough, if enough people hate him, maybe that'll just they didn't know when it was going to happen, but they're like eventually someone's going to try something. Interesting.
So going along with the theory that like this whole thing was like that it wasn't just crooks, that somebody basically took a hit out on the president, whoever it was. Did you know that CNN So CNN used to be a great news network, right? Growing up, CNN I felt like was a legitimate source of news. Now it's become a complete joke, and they get like
What are you
so
talking
little
about?
viewership. And
They they spout nothing but truth.
but like, I mean, I feel like even people from all sides, I feel like could come together and be like, CNN is ridiculous. um, so CNN for the first time ever live streamed the Trump rally that day. It was the very first time they ever live streamed a Trump rally. Um, and then the BBC and Al Jazeera, which is a news network out of Qatar, also live streamed the Trump rally for the first time that day too. So it's kind of weird too, right? I'm not saying that they had anything to do with it, but it's just weird that
Hmm.
like a
Hmm.
super super anti-Trump left wing news network decided to, oh, let's promote his rally today and live stream it for the first time ever, and then that's the one where he gets shot at.
Sorry, wasn't maybe I'm misremembering this, but I want to say I remember seeing like a headline. I don't know who put the headline out, but it was like in the very early moments of when, the assassination attempt had happened and it was like all crazy. I want to say one of the headlines said something about like Trump fell like at
Yeah,
the rally and that was it. And it
yeah.
was like,
Sorry, go on.
no, no, no. I'm like, what? Like, why would you?
Yeah.
And
Well, a
it's
lot of
like,
people
no,
think
he was
that.
shot at, and the timing is obviously very important there. But I just remember the way that it was framed. It was like, wow, these people like clearly aren't giving this the attention that it deserves or the respect that it deserves.
Yeah, a lot of
But
a lot of people were saying that he faked it, and like that he like cut when he grabbed his ear, like he cut his ear with something, or like they faked it. And like, oh, his ear's better now, like it doesn't even look scarred or anything. I'm like, yeah, he barely got nicked. Like, ears
yeah,
bleed a ton, heads bleed a ton. And they're like, it was just shrapnel. But you have freaking shrapnel from a bullet, like flying past his head. And
yeah.
then also, here's the other thing. If you're gonna fake that, if Thomas Crooks was the lone shooter, there is no way that he could just hit the ear from 150 yards on purpose with iron sights.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's an
that was
impossible shot because you got to account for wind, bullet drop. Like, 150 yards,
I
probably not a ton of bullet drop, but like There's no
And
he
apparently you have to account for Trump moving, which
Yeah.
that's what saved his cheeks, right? It was
Mhm.
him freaking like turning to like look at the graph and or whatever, and it just like if he hadn't turned, he would have been dead.
Yeah. But the one that like Trump planned it to me is like bullcrap because one, I don't think he'd let anybody shoot at his
No,
head actually because the guy
no
died.
one,
Like,
yeah, no one in their right mind is gonna let someone take a shot at them with a rifle.
yeah.
and
And the Secret Service like wouldn't go for that either if they like if they planned
no,
it like I don't know. But then people say, well, like immediately after they tackle him to the ground, then he gets up and they let him get up. Like they should never let him get up. I'm like, okay. But
well, I mean, if the threat was neutralized, and then you
yeah.
get him out of there. Well, yeah, uh, I've seen stuff like there was like, oh, he had a blood pill in his hand, and then that's what he did to like get the blood, and it was too perfect. Like the photo that you have behind you is too perfect of a photo. It had to have been staged because
Hmm.
there's no way that that photo could have not been staged. Can you move for a second? I want to see that again. Your chair's in the way. Dude, that is pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute since I've seen that. That's a pretty epic shot.
It's yeah, whatever your
I mean
thoughts are on
photo.
Trump, gotta be the shot. Gotta be like
Fun not intended.
one of the most iconic photos though, for sure. And then him for
Yeah.
him to get up and yell, "Fight, fight!"
Fight, fight, fight.
Again, I'm not a big Trump guy, but that's a big moment. And I think that had the opposite effect of like what everybody wanted it to. I'm pretty sure that won him the election. Like,
Well, yeah, some people. There's this one guy that I went to school with in at BYU Hawaii, and he's pretty like in tune with politics. I think he's like a teacher. Or he's like maybe a principal now, but I think before Trump got elected, but like after this whole thing happened, he's like, I've been wrong before, but I'm pretty sure Trump is going to get elected president. Like you have such a good photo like that, such a good message to send to people, and a bunch of other things too, right? Like the economy is really bad, and it's like really difficult for an incumbent president to win if the economy's not doing well. But
mhm.
yeah, the photo like I think goes pretty hard.
Yeah, for real. But that's another point of like, oh, he faked it to garner support, like to
Yeah,
garner political support, which I mean, I see that angle for sure, but
but
uh
like you said, some like a Comportor, that guy, he died,
yeah.
and two other people were critically injured. Like
Hmm.
that's not gonna. That's not gonna.
Yeah,
That
and
doesn't
then
really hold weight for me. I'm sorry.
you get people spouting off about, well, like he was an actor, he had an IMDb page online and like he was a paid actor, he didn't really die. It's like, dude, come on. Like,
Oh my
are you kidding
goodness,
me? It's
that is
like,
wild.
yeah. But let's talk about a few other theories though. So,
Let's hear it.
um so the water tower, have you heard of the water tower shooter theory?
No.
So there's a water tower there near the site as well. And some people in the crowd, and I've seen videos of the eyewitnesses like explaining this, claimed that they saw another guy on the water tower shooting. Um, I've seen reports that like Marine snipers and stuff have done that the bullet trajectories they don't think came from that water tower, but that could have been the guy that shot Crooks instead of the Secret Service shooting Crooks, or if that was a Secret Service sniper, or something along
Hmm.
the lines of there being another shooter up there because they found a van underneath the water tower that had explosives in it.
Oh, that
And
was the van.
so there's a guy by the name of Maxwell Urich, and he was a big Antifa guy, anti-fascist organization, almost like I'd say they're like kind of like a domestic terrorist organization, basically. Very violent, very outspoken organization, and so the van that was found under the water tower matched a van that was registered to Maxwell Urich's father, and it had Arizona plates, and that's where Urich is from.
Hmm.
And so the van is
Okay.
filled with explosives. Urich was arrested in 2016 after he was at this Antifa riot around the time that Trump was elected. He assaulted a police officer and served a year in jail. And
Hmm.
so he had these big gauges in his ears. He had long brown hair, and they say some people reported on the police body cam footage when they recover Crook's body. Apparently, you can see that the ears. I guess he had his gauges sewn shut, like he had them repaired, basically. And on the body cam footage, you can apparently see the scars from where he had his ears sewn shut. So they don't think it was Crooks; they think it was actually Urich up there. Um, and that Crooks was
Hmm.
like a fall guy, like just kind of like the
Well,
double
then
for
where's
it.
Crooks then?
I don't know. That's like what I don't get about this whole thing, but like that it wasn't actually Crooks and that he was just kind of like the fall guy and that Urich was actually up there. But I don't really see you're right. Like there's so many holes in that one that I don't understand it. Um,
Yeah,
but apparently it wasn't Crooks. So some people
interesting.
think that.
I hadn't heard that one.
The other weird thing with that one is that Urich had a an online account, multiple online accounts where he used an alias, and his alias was Maxwell Crooks. So that's how a lot of people tie him to the thing as well. And I'm like, okay, like that's fishing, but all right, we'll give you that one. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, then you get into like, sorry, I got my paper here, my paper notes I'm reading from, but you get into the whole like, if somebody organized a hit, who was it? And then you get into like intelligence agencies. So one of the big theories is that Crooks was like an MK Ultra plant. As we know, MK Ultra from the government mind control experiments in the 50s and
Yeah.
60s, and that that's still going on. That the government was basically using him as like quote unquote like sleeper agent to assassinate the president, and that
You
he
mean like
had actually,
Zoolander?
yeah, basically. um, and so that's corroborated by the fact that he was visiting, was it the Clarion Sporting Club in his hometown? That's the gun range that he used to go to. And he was going
Mm-hmm.
there quite a bit in the months leading up to the shooting and training. Um, but the FBI has the security footage from the gun range, but they have never released it. So people theorize like, was he training there with some kind of intelligence officer or organization? Were they basically
Oh,
training him?
interesting.
um, because like the FBI won't release the footage. So if it was the FBI, like they wouldn't release the footage. But and then
Hmm.
also he has these offshore bank accounts and encrypted messaging apps, up to 3 bank accounts and 3 different messaging apps that the FBI hasn't been able to crack yet. And so if he was communicating with anybody from an intelligence agency, they probably would communicate with him in an encrypted way, right? So that it'd be secured. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that points to that. And then the fact that his house, too, I don't know what I think about this, but when they raided his house, it had like zero silverware. The house was super clean, no garbage, like no fingerprints on anything. Like the house is like wiped clean, basically. And some say either A, that they that the FBI or someone whoever he was working with came in and scrubbed the house, or B,
Mm-hmm.
that that house was a safe house and that it wasn't actually his home. But I'm like, you have all his neighbors that say that like they live there, so that one doesn't make sense. But that's the theory, that he was potentially working with an intelligence agency to assassinate him, uh, and that he was kind of like a sleeper agent or like a mind controlled guy, radicalized by that agency.
Yeah, for the house part, not having silverware or anything, I think what happened, at least this is what the official narrative says, is that so they get a positive identification from Crooks. They go to his house. It's in the middle of the night, and the SWAT raids his house. And since they recovered the explosives at the site, like in his car and I guess in the van, they're like, well, we got to be careful, like what if there's bombs or something in his house? So I think what happened was the bomb squad came in and cleared the house, and they said something about it being all clear, all clean. And then that
That
somehow
makes
got
sense.
misconstrued to be like, oh, there's nothing in the house. There's no
Oh,
silverware, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Like, that's the lamest thing. I
hmm.
mean, it would be interesting if he didn't have any of that stuff, but again, official narrative talking here. FBI says that his house was like a normal house with they found like however many guns, um, computers, and whatever else they found as like evidence against him. So I mean, I don't know where people get all this stuff, honestly, but who knows? Maybe I'm the one that's in the dark and I need to wake up, you know?
Yes.
That's probably
Um,
what it is.
yeah, and the thing with this one too is it's hard because you hear so many different things from so many different people, but it's hard to find stuff online about it still. Like I looked up even a lot of the things that I remember seeing in articles like a year or two ago after it happened
Mhm.
that I can't find at all anymore online. I've tried asking AI, like I've tried looking through countless Google searches, but one of them that I remember was that Crooks had a device that had been tied to some of his online activity before the shooting, and the IP address was tracked to like that device was still pinging in an FBI office somewhere, and that there was another device that came from that same FBI office and went to his house upwards of 11 times and was pinged at his house. And so again, I looked for like the source of that. I couldn't find it again, but I've heard that in
Mm.
multiple places where there were devices tied to the FBI that were at his house and then one of his devices tied to an FBI location as well. So I don't know what that means, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he was colluding with them, but it could potentially be. But also his parents, the counter argument to that is his parents were like psychological counselors. So if they were dealing with
Yeah.
any kind of like social, what's the word I'm looking for, like a social services case and the FBI was involved or something like that, that could be something. Or if they have a family member or friend that works for the FBI and they don't know that they work for the FBI. Like I had a friend growing up who his dad worked for the FBI and I didn't know until like 3 years ago. And his
Oh,
dad was like an
dang.
agent in the FBI, but he couldn't tell us. And
That does sound kind of
so,
cool.
like, it could have been something like that too. But so I guess what I'm saying with all this is I don't know what I believe because there's so many things to go off of and so many like ideas that could like there's a coincidence here, there's a coincidence here, there's five coincidences of BlackRock. Like I don't know what I believe, but I think there's more to it than just this weird 21-year-old kid gets up on a roof and isn't stopped and then shoots him.
Yeah. Some of the other theories I saw was like it was like a stand down order, basically that like Secret Service and all the agencies they sucked it up on purpose. You kind of mentioned that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of them. There was another one, something about yeah, as a part of this theory, allegedly someone on what is it called, 4chan, our favorite message board, some guy claiming to be Secret Service agent said that they had like crooks in sight for 3 minutes
Mm.
and they didn't shoot because they were told not to shoot or something.
I remember
I'm
hearing
like,
something like that. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. There's a lot. 4chan cannot be the source of truth. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's where all the QAnon stuff came from. We all know how crazy that is. So,
Well, like, have you seen the pictures of Crooks on the roof after he dies?
no.
He doesn't blend into the roof, right? Like it's like
He
he's wearing
sticks
like
out.
dark clothes and the roof is like a white roof, like a light colored roof. So he sticks out. Um you can see him from the ground on the roof because there's video of him on
Yeah,
from the ground. So you can see him from the ground. But if you've also like if you've looked at a map of the plot where the Secret Service snipers were, they should have easily seen him on that roof. Like just looking around the site, they
yeah.
should have easily spotted him up there. So it's just like I don't know when they disposed the is that the word the disposit the
Deposed.
deposed, yeah. well, she kind of got disposed of too. She resigned, but when they,
The Secret Service lady, whatever her
yeah,
name was,
have you watched any of her?
pantsuit chick.
Yeah, pantsuit chick. She did a bang up
Sorry, that's
job
probably a
with
little
this whole
that's
thing,
probably a little
but
demeaning. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
will, I
I know you
will,
lost your job,
I will
but
hold my thoughts. Let's move on. So when they deposed her, and they're like, uh, "Have you been to the site?" And she said she hadn't been to the site yet. And they're like, "It's been a while, like weeks since the
yeah.
shooting," and then she hadn't contacted her head guys there. It took her 72 hours for her to get in contact with the head guys that were at the shooting to get a report on it afterwards. And so they're
Hmm.
like, "There should have been an immediate thing. You should go down there right now. Like, do you want to leave and go right now? You can go down to the site right now and go investigate it. Like, go check it out."
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and then the other weird thing is that they cremated Crook's body like 10 days afterwards. So there's no evidence linked to his body at all. And
Hmm.
that one kind of ties back to JFK because they no one knows what happens to JFK's brain. They removed his brain and then like it was mysteriously gone, and they couldn't investigate his brain for the hole like bullet holes. And so
Hmm.
standard procedure would not be to cremate the body because you'd want to examine it, but they did,
Mm-hmm.
and like the head of the Secret Service hadn't even been to the site to examine it or like gotten a briefing from her people there. So I don't necessarily think that. I guess I lean more toward either incompetence or not an active participation in the assassination, but more of a passive, like, well, lack security. What happens, happens type deal.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that, but I'm the naive one that just believes what he's told.
I wouldn't say
To me,
naive.
it's to me it's completely plausible that people just messed up so bad. The real mystery to me here is Crooks and his total separation of his life, of that part of his life. Like it it never ceases to amaze me how you never know somebody, and it's kind of scary because I'm sure everyone in his life thought that there's no way that this kid who's super smart and he is shy but like never talks about political opinions or anything. There's no way this guy could be the one that, killed Mr. Comportor and injured others and injured Trump. Like there's no way. I mean, like I would be shocked as well too to find out like if you or any of my friends did something so wild. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like I had no clue." Like
Yeah.
and that would suck. Um that's the thing that baffles me the most is like, wow. And it's scary too because you you want to be able to trust people, you want to be able to have like some kind of predictability in your life, like your social circles. Like I would be devastated, absolutely devastated if someone that I was close to did something like that and I had no clue. Like it would be like, "What? How? But how?" Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the hardest thing with something like that is like not only do you realize that like you couldn't trust that person, but it's like, can I even trust myself? Like, how did I let that get past me? How did I not see,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like a big internal thing too of like, I dropped the ball on that and didn't even note it. Like, man, I missed that too.
And maybe that's that same kind of line of thinking is why I tend to trust in the official narrative, because if the official narrative is wrong and it's like really really wrong, then like I'm a fool and I can't trust myself. And then what? You like who am I supposed to go to like know what's right or what's wrong or what's real, what's not real? Like I hate that feeling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that'd just be awful. So there's I'm sure there's some healthy like balance between, we've talked about it before, like skepticism and whatnot, like and what the official narrative is, but it's I don't know. It's a tough line. I don't know. I probably I'm not skeptical enough. I'm a more trusting person, and yeah. Anyway,
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I, I think I would, if I weren't doing this podcast, if I hadn't started down the road of doing this podcast 7 years ago, I'd probably be that way too.
but now you know something.
I've been
You
enlightened.
feel you feel like there is a bit more to the story.
Once I saw the aliens and the UFO, my mind opened up.
Man, one day the conspiracy thing, it's never like those are harder for me to believe in. The aliens thing, I'm more okay with, and ghosts like 100%, like all in. Like I believe that kind of stuff, but this kind of stuff, like, I mean, the BlackRock thing was really interesting. I will admit that I was like, hadn't heard that before, but yeah,
Follow the money.
just yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy one, and I feel like we didn't get any closure in the investigations or the reports that came out about it
I
afterwards. Like,
know,
it
super
just died.
disappointing.
Like, it died in the
Yeah,
media, and it sucks that we never figured out what really happened. But, well, if it was anything different than what they claim happened. But
yeah,
yeah, interesting. If we missed any theories, let us know of your crazy theories that you have on this one, and let us know what you guys want us to cover in the next episode.
yeah, yeah. This one's an interesting one. I'm sure. I kind of want to do the Charlie Kirk one too.
Oh, there's some ties to the Trump shooter and the Charlie Kirk shooter. Apparently, they were both part of the furry community, which,
Hmm.
but I haven't looked into those yet. But I've heard people like in some of the podcasts I listen to about this. They're like, yeah, there's some pretty significant ties to the Charlie Kirk shooter, but like we'll do that in another episode. And then I never went and listened to that. So
Yeah, that one
maybe look
hits
into that.
closer to home though. I mean, because that was in our freaking backyard. I
Yeah,
freaking went to school there.
that's crazy. Do you know like where it happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'd been there. I didn't walk around that specific area because it's like outside, but I've walked past it. Like, do you, this will be the last part, and then we'll end here. But do you remember? There was like that one video, like a Snapchat, like someone's inside the building in the hallway, and they're in this. It's called the Hall of Flags. They're just a bunch of flags that line the hallway, like on either side,
mm-hmm.
and they're doing a video, and I don't think it had in the video you can see the kid like on the roof,
Really
like walking. Yeah,
no
like you
way.
can see him, and I was like, holy shiz. I'm like, yeah, I've definitely been exactly where that video was taken and everything.
That's
So
crazy. That's one where I'm like I've heard some more conspiracies with that one that I haven't dove into it, but there's some that I'm like maybe that one would be a little bit more believable of like a conspiracy angle than this one. I don't know.
I think it could be a good one. I think there's a lot of people that say there's a lot of crazy stuff about it, but
I think I told you the other day there have been a few times that I remember where I was when people died, and one of them was Kobe Bryant. When he died, I was like,
oh,
I remember I had just woken up and I read it, and I was like, just like, no way, dude. Like, just for the game of basketball, he was such a good
yeah,
like figure. And
I
then,
hated him, but
eh,
he was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I just respected him so much. But
Oh,
it
for
was
sure.
just like
Yeah.
the weirdest death, like just so out of the blue. And then Charlie Kirk was another one, but yeah, there've been a
Where
few of
were you?
those. I was at home, but I remember getting the news and I just felt gutted about it. Like, oh my. That was another one where it was like something big's gonna happen now. Some
Yeah.
civil war is gonna break out. Like something big is gonna pop off because of this. It just felt like very charged, you know,
I was
because
at
he actually
freaking
died.
work. Yeah, I was at freaking work when that happened, and I remember this one guy was like, Charlie Kirk just got shot. We're just like, what? He's like, yeah, he just got shot. I'm like, oh my gosh, hope he's okay. Like, and then obviously he wasn't okay. And then all the videos that came out, and anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we'll cover that one at some point. But
yeah,
yeah, let us know. We're excited to be back, bringing more content. Let us know what you want to hear, and
yeah,
we love you guys. Thanks for listening.
yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys later.